Peasant Productions presents the math of ESP, why it works even if you don't believe in it. But okay, now I've read a lot of sci-fi, I've dealt with a lot of stuff. I have been connected to the spiritual realm on a very high level since 2 years of age. In Herbert's Dune book, the one girl, Alida, is born kind of in the womb, because Jessica takes the water of life while she's pregnant. She doesn't tell anybody she's pregnant. It's, the mystical, magical, or the shaman herb type of a thing transforms both mother and embryo into shamans. The thing is that I too have been awake for a very long time to this, and it's kind of hard to explain what it's like to be connected, because you're used to seeing the more westernized enlightenment, which is the guy who sits back and meditates all day long and does nothing, and he's made his wealth, by running businesses where other people do the work. True enlightenment, and the higher up you're in enlightenment, the more you get something thrown at you to go out there and do, to produce lesson work and to help other people and stuff like that, just by the necessity of the spiritual realm making certain that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and learning, okay? It's all part of this interaction and stuff. Now, kind of fun, you have an awful lot of the Matrix, red pill, blue pill stuff. And somewhere in the 70s, I started telling people that what it is like for me is to be kind of like I'm hooked into some kind of big super computer, I can access stuff, I can learn stuff, I can test and see and do all kinds of different things. And because I wouldn't, not trying to give too much away at that point in time, it was just basically I left it off at the idea of being computerized type connection. And I also started doing stuff where I was talking about where things would go, especially in the very end of the 1970s, from 1978 through to about 85, 86, when I stopped working on this stuff. I was really kind of heavily involved in trying to find people that were actually, for me, the only way I can say, pure in the heart. They were clean enough in the heart that I was going to be able to try and get them to help me to put this whole situation together, and do it in such a way that it would work out nice and I wouldn't ever be actually a religion or anything like that. I hate hero worship stuff, okay? It's not that it isn't right or it isn't okay. It's just, for me, it just doesn't work. But needless to say, I was into this idea of it all being a computer simulation. So when Matrix came out, the movie came out, I did have to laugh, because it had such a feeling of where I personally sometimes feel, where I'm just one outside of everything else. But at the same point in time, I came out of a batch of a whole lot of whatever I am. The ability to see stuff, and when I look at something in pure energy, while it isn't computer numbers trickling down the screen like they show, there is a certain element of that energy pattern flowing across in front of me that, basically, I can envision somebody turning it into a computer screen and showing numbers and letters and code falling down and stuff like that. So it was very interesting to see that movie, and I didn't become a groupie of it or anything like that, but I definitely enjoyed seeing it. Some of the sequels I kind of looked at and kind of wondered about, but anyway, we got the computer simulation type stuff, and one of the things we were looking at there was where the religions, you're worshiping a god with what is now the conspiracy theory people's thing. Oh, there's a matrix out there, it's all a computer simulation. See, here we have this bad piece of footage where you can see this little click and thing, and whoops, there's something outside. They show you the same kind of stuff as, like, say, Star Trek, when the holodeck has a problem in one of the panels, or there's a glitch in the computer system. Professor Moriarty and Data having their battle, I remember some little flickers and things happening in the screens and stuff like that. So this is the same sort of thing. Only difference is now, instead of the hero worship being a god, you're kind of now hero worshiping a computer system. But they don't really explain how this computer system works, or who maintains it, or what maintains it beyond that. It's again back to, like, the flat Earth people, where you're kind of like, well, if this was a flat Earth, how do you explain certain things happening, like seasons and stuff like that? You go to these matrix people, how do you explain being able to see this, and you're not immediately turned off or taken out, because you would be, like in the movie The Matrix, you'd be somebody that was a problem for them. So they would at least boot you out into the spare drive, the hard drive where everything's downloaded at. Like they did with Moriarty, they put him in his own cube. So you need to stop and kind of look at what some of the stuff is, and if you look at how when you had from the late 1800s, as flying machines became something more than just balloons. But from the Civil War to World War II, you have an ever-increasing thing of people seeing UFOs. Now, this is not to say there are no UFOs. I have seen enough. I'm a nighttime photographer. I have seen enough, and I'm quite pissed that I've never had a camera ready, but I have seen enough to know that there is something freaking out in that sky that doesn't get explained. But there is an increase in the overall of society of people citing it. And you also have an increase in the airplanes, what they produce, how they are, how fast they are, their designs, their noises, and, things like this. You have all this progression through here. Now you're in the other side of it, where we got the stealth planes, and we got the hovercopters, and the silent mode helicopters, and and all this kind of stuff. So a lot of stuff can be staged, and a lot of stuff can be real, and it's absolute mayday for anybody wanting to create a conspiracy theory to start waving their flag and become. I mean, even me, like I said, my Occupy ISS, and the President of the United States tweets out that he's going to start. He's ordering all of the military to go through and find everything they have for taking care of conquering space and being in control of space. And I'm sitting back here going, man, I'm one guy. Yes, I did tweet at real Donald Trump about my doing Occupy ISS, but those things are all vetted by people. Trump doesn't just see all of his own tweets at this point in time. He's got some layer of stuff that vets who and what he actually ends up seeing. And yet, nonetheless, there's that whole kick of something happening and something turning it around. So, in the sense of what I was talking in the previous one about it being a car race, you're going through life, you're trying to get there. You start seeing stuff around you that is part of When I was a kid, my stepfamily got one of these pop-up trailer tent trailer type of things to go camping in. And I've never actually gone back to research out the dates and times on when these things first started coming out a lot. But as soon as we got one, I personally started paying attention to the fact that, oh, there's one, and it's a small one. Oh, there's one, and it's even bigger. So I kind of paid more attention to it, and that's why I say you have these more airplanes in the sky, more UFO reportings. More people are going out and looking at sunsets, so more people are seeing weird skies. I've yet to see anything that gives me any indication of a so-called Nibiru. The other day, the guy, sitting there, or actually I think it was this morning, I'm looking at a piece of footage and the guy says, "See, look, there's two suns." And you're looking at it and it's kind of like, well, that's hard to say, and it's a lousy bit of footage. And you don't know what the camera is, you don't know what the lens is, it looks like it might be a cell phone, it might be something a little bit more than that. I know, for instance, in my lens, some of my lenses got 10, 15, my big Canon wide angle, it's got like 17 elements in it. So the guy who knows nothing about photography, oh, it's not lens flare. It's like, but how do you know that? You don't have enough of the footage to look at and really tell. And then there were high clouds around it, so it could have also been what's called the sundog, which is a bright hot spot off to the side of the sun. And I photographed them over the years many times. So there's a whole series of things that people, by being told not to think, and not to challenge, and not to look, that you're losing out on. This stuff is catching up on you. You have these issues. If this was really a computer simulation, and the only thing I can say that's gonna really mess with the idea is that, yes, if you go into your yogic stuff, all of this, and you go back in through all my math of ESP stuff, I'm talking about how all of this is solidified energy. Therefore, yes, you do live in some kind of super grandiose computer simulation. You have the ability to write code. You have the ability to present code. You have the right to challenge and do stuff. It's not a problem, but it's not a computer simulation where somebody's pushing the flush button and you're just a petri dish. You could be real close at times, yes. Humans do get dumb. So, anyway, just having some fun with that, because I did use the computer simulation ideas a long time ago.